Welcome everybody. We're happy to have you here for our Canvas PD series. You'll notice that we have a bit.ly address at the bottom right-hand side of the screen so you can get access to our slides. And the great part about access to the slide deck is that it has videos and our notes from the entire series that we've done the whole year, levels 1, 2, and 3. So you'll want to make sure that that is case sensitive. It is capital C Canvas levels. Make sure you have access to that for all of these videos plus more. Awesome. My name is Carrie Kunert in the center there, joined by Chris Giles and Nicole Carter. We are on the digital curriculum team. We are TOSAs. And Chris is our Canvas admin for the district, and we are working on the Canvas agreements. We have this fabulous document, and this year we have broken that into training after training after training to really talk about all of the different aspects of Canvas and how we can implement them as a district to be more unified and consistent for our users. So these are the different levels that we've established: the discovery level, create, and explore and collaborate. And those would correspond with beginning, intermediate, and more advanced usage. And we have everything you see underlined there at this point is already a session that we've done and is hot linked and ready to go. So for this session right now, we are in level 1, discovery, and we are all the way down at episode 11. So Chris is going to navigate us there. Episode 10, how to use Canvas Inbox. And this is our rough schedule for our session. And Chris is going to go ahead and launch us.
Today, we're talking about the Canvas Inbox. And we're talking about communication. There's many ways that you could communicate with staff and students and even observers. And observers are going to be parents or guardians who are essentially linked to a student. So that is a new functionality we have, and I'll show you that today. But we are going to talk about the Canvas Inbox. What's great about our slides is that the things we're going to talk about today are linked. So if you're like, oh my gosh, Chris said something, or Carrie and Nicole had mentioned something, we did our best to link that information so that when you get to the slides, you can just go ahead and click on that. But I am going to go ahead and hit escape because we're talking about the Canvas Inbox. And so I'm going to just go to my dashboard in Canvas. The Canvas Inbox is basically what's on what's called the global navigation. On the left-hand side, you have the courses, the dashboard, and then you'll notice that I have Inbox. And so that's how you can get to your inbox pretty quickly. It doesn't matter what course you're in, you will be able to click the Inbox button at any point in time and get to that message. And then as far as sending off messages, it's really simple. It's literally just clicking the pencil. And then it's going to ask you to choose a course. You can favor a course. So these are the courses that are probably going to be tagged with a star that are on my dashboard, or I might have lots and lots of courses that I may or may not have sent information for. And so I'm going to go ahead and choose, I think, what's our course? Is it the Canvas Exemplar course? Anyways, I'll just choose one. It doesn't really matter which one. And once you choose your course, then you can go ahead and click on who you want to send this to. I can send it right now. There's only teachers in my course, but I could send it to students if I wanted to because it'll show up as students. You can even type in their name, and then you can send this information. I do want to clarify that there is an extra feature that I want you to be aware of. And right here where it says send an individual receipt to those folks, this is something that you're going to want to be aware of. And the reason why, let me go to, I'll go to this course here. So I can send a message to all students if I want to, or you can choose individual students if you want to. And so in this case, I'll choose this is my daughter. The reason why I'm saying being aware of this unchecking is it's now by default. So just uncheck it, leave it alone. The reason why is if I wanted to add another teacher, for example, Carrie, and I was going to copy Carrie on this message to that student, sending it an individual message will send Carrie an individual message that she's been individually tagged effectively. And at the same time, she's also been included in the overall message. It gets a bit confusing. So for now, this is the default. I would leave it unchecked when you create your message to your students and or staff or teachers, whoever you want. And then down below, you can compose your message. I don't want to spend a lot of time on how to do it, but all of you know how to compose a message. But here's what's awesome that I did add. Down below, you have include observers, or you can remove students. I also have the ability to record a video. So if I wanted to record a short video of myself sending a message to my students, I can just do audio as well, no video. I can upload a video as well if I wanted to, where it says upload, or I can attach something. So you can attach a rubric, you can attach an assignment. Hey, you missed school today. I'm sending you that PDF file that you missed in class. It's also in Canvas, but I'm also going to attach it to you. And so you can attach files to students or to parents. And then I can include observers. So if I'm messaging the student, I can tag the parent or the guardian instantly, and they'll get that message as well. And that's what's new. And then I just hit send, and I know that, boom, that was it. And then on the left-hand side, you'll notice that this is all of my massive inbox messages that I did receive. And then of course you can choose star, send, archive. So you can look at that information and you can choose which course you want to look at. To me, the beauty of the Canvas inbox is it is going to effectively filter or organize those messages from students according to the courses that they're in. So, we're not here to tell you stop email. I think the difference is you can use email and it'll still be a benefit. But at the same time, if you're like, I'm emailing or I'm messaging 10 or 15 students a week, and now I'm not quite sure what course they're in, I forget, Canvas will organize that for you. You now know what course the student is in. You can organize that information. And then as far as the inbox, I do want to mention, we've written down on our Google Slides with what's called these pro tips. And I want to just kind of talk about a pro tip. And in my opinion, one of the pro tips that's really important is if you are going to communicate with your students, I would personally use the Canvas inbox for more personal information. Hey, I noticed you missed school today, or hey, so-and-so, I want to talk to you about your score or your grade. But if it's a question about, hey, Mr. Giles, how do I do this assignment? I think this is where you leverage the Canvas discussions. I think that if it's a question about what I'm doing as a student or how this relates to me as a learner, and the benefit of the answer could benefit all of the students in the class, I think I would do my best to shy away from using the Canvas inbox when it comes to one-on-one messages to students about work that relates to everyone. Hey, my dog died, I can't make it to school. That's an inbox. Hey, how do you do assignment 2.3? I don't know, I don't get it. I would say, hey, student, great question. Can you complete that in our classroom discussion? And now everybody can see your question, and other peers can answer that question. And hopefully, and if I answer it as a teacher, I'm going to answer it in that classroom discussion page where now that benefits all the students.
So as you can see, I just have a quick course here. This is my home screen. This is a course for teachers, so it looks a little different than our normal home screen that we have for students. But down at the bottom, you'll notice that I have this Q&A discussion. So when you click on it, it just takes you to a thing that says if you have a general comment, put it here. I think as we've discussed the idea of a general comment, I would maybe rephrase this for students where I might say, do you have a general comment or question about any work we're doing in class that could benefit the class as a whole or something like that? But if you go into the discussions, you'll also notice that it's a pinned discussion. I keep it there all year round, right? So that's an example.
I think the thing here is that we just want to reiterate, like, what is the best platform? Like Chris always says, like task, audience, purpose. What do you say? Task, audience, purpose.
Purpose, yeah.
We were having a discussion as we were preparing for today, and we kept on saying, my child is just not checking email. I've since realized that she does check email. She emails her friends, but I'm not quite sure that she's like checking it and using it as I would think that they would. But I know if a teacher is constantly using Canvas is a tab that is open on a student's computer, and it's on their radar. So I think regardless of whether we're not here to tell you use email or use Canvas inbox, which one's better, which one's worse. I think you have to personally decide. It might be a building decision, to be perfectly honest, but you as a teacher probably needs to decide, the best way to communicate with the students and then direct instruct with them your avenue. Just like Chris is mentioning this like Q&A option. I usually create one with a, you know, nice picture that just says, if you have a general comment, leave it here. But what Chris is talking about, just like that idea of a question answer that benefits the entire class, it's all great and all, but if you don't teach that to them and you don't give them that option from the beginning, set it as a pinned discussion, go back to it again and again. If you see a question roll in and you happen to answer it, make sure you share that with the rest of the class, or even, you know, remind them as maybe an opener, a bell ringer activity. Hey, have you checked out the class Q&A? Go see if there's some questions that you might need to answer for someone or something. Like, you're going to have to come back to it again and again and prompt them how to use it or how to do it. I think it's a great idea, and it definitely benefits everyone and should hopefully reduce the amount of back and forth email that you are going to have to do. But again, it's like both things, whether it's the inbox, Gmail, email, or this Q&A discussion, like it has to be taught and reiterated over and over and over again with them. Yeah. But we went back and forth over and over again when we should have been planning, just having this kind of discussion, what's the best use case? And ultimately we were like, well, we can't make that decision. That's not up to us to make that decision.
And I know, Scott, you have a question, and we're okay to stop. Or if you want to hold off for just a minute, we'll get to the Q&A if that's okay. Or is that okay? Okay, awesome. All right. The reason why I just want to show you a couple of things. In 100%, with Nicole saying, my students aren't going to naturally pick these skills up by just showing up in Canvas. I intentionally creating spaces for them to use the inbox, intentionally using the discussions. All of those are definitely intentional uses. I do want to show you a couple real quick pro tips. We talked about communication. At the beginning of the year, my big thing that I was sharing with teachers is you're going to communicate with students and parents in many different formats, but eventually you want to narrow that scope down to 2 or 3 tools, because who can keep track of communicating with people using multiple tools? It's really challenging. So Canvas inbox for my students and my observers, my parents is super important. Email to my staff or to my colleagues, to my principal. I can handle those 2 types of communication tools. But did you know that you could leverage the 2 of them together? And here's how you can do that. When you are in Canvas and you go to your settings, you can actually add a separate email or even a text message that says, when I get an inbox message from a student, or my student leaves a comment or submits something, whatever, I want you to notify me either through the other email or through a phone number. Now, here's why I'm saying the beauty of leveraging both types of communication, email, Outlook email or Gmail, and Canvas. The beauty of it is once you set up your email, you can come over here to where it says, you click on your account, click on settings to change your email or add an extra email or phone number. But then I can click on notifications, and that's going to allow me to say, you know what? When my student makes a comment on grading down below where it says submission comment, I want it to be turned on immediately. And here's why I say the beauty of notifications is this. Did you know that you could get an email notification in your email that a student has commented on something you left, and you don't have to go to Canvas to respond? You could respond directly to that student from email. You don't even have to go back to Canvas if you don't want to. I'm teaching a class right now that has 50 teachers from, I think it's North Carolina, from one school district. And if I had to go into Canvas every single time to see their comment, I would go nuts. So instead, I have it turned on in my email box so I can see, oh, so-and-so left a comment based off of my feedback. I get an email, I respond right there to them in my email, and it goes right to them in Canvas and to their inbox, and they'll get that information. So you can leverage Outlook or Gmail, a phone number, and Canvas at the same time to kind of basically level up your communication. But as a classroom teacher, I do distinguish in my brain work, colleagues, my boss, my principal is email. And if it's school related, I want to do my best to keep it into Canvas because it keeps it organized by courses. It keeps my parents organized. And so it's just a little bit easier for me to manage those 2 components. And the last thing is with the notifications is you can turn them off totally 100%, but also, just in case you didn't know, you can turn off notifications at the course level as well. So not only at the district level, meaning every course that you have, but if you click each course, you can fine tune your notifications by clicking on the right-hand side where it says view course notifications, and that will allow you to dial down those notifications, because we don't like, my hashtag is inform me, don't annoy me. So if you can dial down the notifications and get less annoyed but get better informed, that's a win. I do want to pause, and I think Carrie or Nicole, if we have anything we've missed, I think that, again, our pro tips, we left it on our slide. These are not all the pro tips in the world, but there's a few that we feel like are valuable to our staff here. So did I miss anything? And if I did, I'll totally talk about it. And if not, I think that was pretty much it. I mean, we knew inbox was going to be short. So.